Things Simplified program. Today we will talk about FRSR, that is Fundamental Rules, Supplementary Rules, Part 3, Leave Rules of Government of India. These general principles are going to be discussed today. Normally, the leave rules are important because people should know what are their entitlements, how they should apply for leave, and during leave, how the salary is regulated. Everything should be known. In the absence of leave rules knowledge, people may end up in losing salary for their absence also. So let us see what are the salient features, central principles of leave rules now. We are discussing general principles of leave rules. First point is grant of leave is governed under Central Civil Services Leave Rules 1972. And that rules defines all kinds of rules and how to apply for everything. And first point is leave is not a matter of right. An employee cannot say that he should be granted leave under any circumstances, number one. But at the same time, under medical ground, leave cannot also be denied. The leave sanctioning authority may refuse or revoke the leave already granted of any kind, except of course medical leave, but cannot, repeat, cannot alter the kind of leave due and applied for by an employee. That is, if an employee has applied for, let us say, earned leave, and the leave sanctioning authority says, no, I cannot grant you earned leave, I can grant you only extraordinary leave, which will not fetch the employee any salary. No, the leave sanctioning authority has no control over that. He can only accept these leave applications based on merit or in public interest, in the sense, in the interest of organizational work, he can deny the leave also if the leave is not on medical ground. So that is the important point of this rule number 7.2, that leave sanctioning authority may refuse or revoke the leave of any kind, but cannot alter the kind of leave due and applied for by the employee. Let's see other points. Leave can be granted for a continuous period of 5 years. Of course, 5 years is too long a period to be absent by any employee. So government gives under certain circumstances even leave up to 5 years, but that will be a very special circumstance. It is not the normal one. Second, an official remaining absent for a continuous period of 5 years without valid reason shall be deemed to have resigned from service. That is, if an employee is absent with no valid reason, then office can remove him as resigned by the employee. So this is because continuous absence cannot be allowed, and it leads to indiscipline. It leads to blocking of the post also by an unwilling government servant who is not attending office. Further, during leave period, a government servant cannot work or do any service at any point of time. But of course, there are certain guidelines with specific permission, short term, some kind of special work can also be done, but that is not covered on this in our discussion now. It will be supported by a doctor of central government health scheme or authorized medical attendant as may be applicable. All the government doctors are authorized medical attendant. Apart from government doctors, there are private doctors who are nominated specifically by the head of the department as authorized medical attendant. Of course, in major cities, the Central Government Employees Welfare Coordination Committee also nominate authorized medical attendant for a specified period which should be accepted by the departmental head of the department for their employees as AMA. Let us discuss about this AMA and the CGHS things in our separate discussion forum of health scheme of the Government of India for the government employee. The leave sanctioning authority may, at its discretion, seek second medical opinion from a medical board. So that is, if an employee applies for leave with a medical certificate under medical ground, normally leave sanctioning authority cannot deny the leave. But of course, if he has any doubt on the genuinity of the medical certificate, it is open to him to call for second medical opinion, which the employee has to naturally obey and appear before the medical board for a medical opinion. Otherwise, under normal circumstances, leave cannot be denied if it is under medical ground. Next, if an employee who is on leave on medical ground shall be allowed to join duty only after he gets a medical fitness certificate and that is submitted to the office. The idea behind this point is medical condition is something, it could be infectious or contagious, so people have to be declared fit to join duty. So anybody who is on medical leave should submit medical fitness certificate at the time of joining on completion of his leave period. Unless regularized by grant of leave by the competent authority and an absence which is not in continuation of any kind of leave will constitute break in service. That is, a person who is absent by not applying for leave and not getting leave approved will be deemed to be absent unauthorizedly, and the competent authority can regularize if he so wishes. Otherwise, this will result in interruption in service, which will have a lot of effect in his future service and many other things. We'll discuss those points separately. Authority competent to grant leave may commute retrospectively periods of absence without leave into extraordinary leave. So when the authority is trying to regularize his absence, he can also grant extraordinary leave, which means leave without pay. We will discuss all these points in our next lecture, where we will be discussing all types of leaves and every rule governing every type of leave. Thank you.